Do you want to learn more about the Mazda 3? Well, you came to the right place because I'm going to break down the BL series from 2010 to 2013. Designed under Kunihiko Kurisu, the second-gen Mazda 3 began development in 2004 and debuted in November of 2008 in the US and Canada. This is my favorite look for the Mazda 3. I mean, it has a huge smiley face, but it still looks a bit aggressive. Not even the Miata could pull it off with their NT MX-5. Starting its sales in 2010 with a 148 horsepower 2-liter motor in the I version, and the S version wielded a 2.5 liter with 167 horsepower, which came from the Mazda 6. These two collectively average about 22 to 32 miles per gallon. The BL series went through an update in 2012, which is referred to as the BL2, and is sharing the same chassis as the Ford Focus, the C1 architecture, which is built as a joint venture with Ford, Mazda, and Volvo. The Grand Touring model, or the 3S, had leather seats, power driver's seat, what a luxury, rain sensing windshield wipers, dual zone climate, and adjustable xenon headlights, which were known to fog from the inside, and in my opinion, if the headlights go bad, the whole car looks bad. And of course, all of this can come in either a sedan or a hatchback configuration. The Mazda Speed 3 was also an option, which was a direct opposite of those econo boxes with 267 horsepower with its inline 4 turbo. Well, kinda. It basically just had more power and more performance bits, which I'll dive deeper in another video. 2012 marked the introduction of the BL2, which only lasted until 2013. The most notable update was the Skyactiv G 2-liter motor, which came in either a 6-speed manual or a 6-speed automatic transmission. The motor gave the car 30 to 40 miles per gallon with regular pump gas and 157 horsepower, which isn't bad one bit for something with such great miles per gallon. Some folks tested it and drove pretty aggressive and achieved 28 miles per gallon, and other folks who had a very light foot achieved 44 miles per gallon. The 3 also has a stiffer chassis that increases performance and handling, upgraded exterior that makes the car look more aggressive. The interior of the Mazda 3 remains mainly unchanged, besides the updated satin rings around the climate control knobs, and overall the interior is somewhat basic and simple, which is what you should expect from a lower price economy car. Let's not forget the potential for modifications. Of course, you can update the exhaust, its manifolds, and all that fun stuff, but it doesn't seem to be all that worth it unless you have the Mazda Speed. The best bang for your bucks would be the performance and handling upgrades, like lighter, wider wheels, more rubber, more connection to the ground, and the lighter the wheel, the easier it is to rotate, and lowering the car, which will get it closer to the road and lower its center of gravity. A sway bar to increase its rigidity, and a strut tower brace to do just the same. And if you are still itching for the need for more, you should then upgrade the exhaust and intake. Of course, there are visual modifications too. There are a good number of these Mazda 3s lasting well over 300,000 miles with minimal issues and keeping up with basic maintenance. And all 3 of these motors are very reliable. But with that said, just like every car, there are issues that may come up. And these are somewhat 2 of the most notable issues. The Skyactiv G motor's main purpose was to produce a good amount of power, all while squeezing the best miles per gallon they can. Because of that, folks drive these things very generously and allow carbon to build up and restrict airflow from entering the engine. This would cause the engine to have a reduction of power, rough idle, and even misfires. What is the fix? Well, you need to drive the car throughout its entire rev range like it was built to do. Another main issue with these motors is lower oil pressure. There was a TSB written on this by Mazda, but in general, the oil pressure issue seems to not damage the engines because the engine still has oil pressure. However, in the long term, the fragile components like bearings can wear prematurely. So the fix is to replace the oil pump because most likely something has clogged one of its parts. It's also recommended to replace the oil strainer and clean the oil pan to prevent the new pump from getting clogged again. And the engine code typically pops up with P0015 or P0524. Routine oil changes are very important to keep things nice and clean and to prevent issues just like that. I personally would grab the Skyactiv G model and upgrade its handling. What would you grab? If you want to learn more about what to do if your car's overheating, take 3 minutes and watch this video. This is Chris AutoMotivate. Always appreciate and respect one another. I'll see you next time.